Call of the Dead, DLC 2 of Black Ops 1 is held extremely high in regards to zombies fans. This map is at the top of plenty of their tier lists. Does it deserve to be in that spot? Well, allow me to tell you that today. So to start things off, like normal in these sections, we talk about the pros of the map. The pros of Call of the Dead are astounding. There's a lot of them I would like to talk about today, starting with the lore as usual. To keep things concise, pretty much Ultimus teleports via the Casimir mechanism and overloading it to the Siberian facility where Richtofen used to work. The reason they teleport here is so Richtofen can obtain the golden rod to teleport the crew to Shangri-La. But unfortunately, Ultimus end up inside a door and cannot escape. And a crazy coincidence, at the exact time they teleport here, which is in 2011 by the way, which is really cool, there's actually a movie being shot by George Romero and a celebrity cast that he hired to be in the movie. Richtofen alerts the moviegoers by banging on the door and asks for their help to get the golden rod. But at the same exact time this happens, Samantha launches an attack of the undead onto the movie cast, in turn which George is kidnapped and turned into a zombie himself. And that was up, of course, to the cast of the movie to retrieve the golden rod and send Ultimus to Shangri-La and to stop the zombie outbreak. Very good stuff, and it's extremely unique that they tie this into a real life scenario pretty much. These 5 characters are real people. Rest in peace George Romero, of course. But these 5 people are real people, and the fact there's a zombie map based off of them, and the fact that they're an actual crew on here is absolutely insane, and is one of the reasons people like this map so much, which for me, I completely agree. This crew definitely benefits this map a lot, and this map would not be the same without them. This map also introduces a new perk, Deadshot Daiquiri. Deadshot Daiquiri is a very hated perk by most people, but I think it's alright. It is auto-aim to the head and removes recoil damage, which is extremely valuable on certain guns, especially in later games where recoil can be extremely insane. Deadshot's a very good perk, and I feel like it is a little hated. This map also introduces 2 new wonder weapons, the VR-11 and the Scavenger. Unlike Ascension, which didn't introduce any new wonder weapons, this map introduces 2. One being more of a tactical piece of weaponry, while the other is absolutely an offensive machine. So we'll start with the VR-11. The VR-11, you shoot at a zombie, and then the zombie becomes a human, who will then run away while a time bomb ticks down before they explode. While this zombie runs away, all zombies around that zombie that was turned will start chasing them, pretty much making this a monkey bomb machine. This also has some niche uses in co-op, where if you shoot your teammate, they get an insta-kill, and they become immune to zombies, just like when you shoot a zombie, they run away from you. It's a very unique gun and a very unique power-up, and it also can calm George down if it's pack-a-punch. It has a very good amount of ammo, and it's something you want every time you play, especially with Mule Kick on the map. The Scavenger is a sniper rifle, an explosive one at that, and I mean it. This thing can take out an entire horde in one shot, all the way up until round 40 on the original map. And yes, before you ask, I am showing remastered footage of Call of the Dead. It looks a lot nicer. It also plays a lot better. It's just a better version of Call of the Dead, so I am showing the remaster, which does have an infinite damage Scavenger, but I'm not on high enough round for it to have mattered, so yeah, we got Black Ops 3 gameplay today. This map also introduces fast travel. The new fast travel in this map is great. We have zip lines and flingers placed around the map to make getting around the map a lot easier, because this map is a lot bigger than previous maps, and for good reason in my opinion. While the map is bigger, it's not nearly as easy as something like Ascension, which is another pro I'd like to talk about. This map's difficulty is very good. It's not too hard, but it's not too easy. There are some good training spots. Right outside the AK-74U wall by. Spawn's pretty good if you ignore the water and George isn't there. It's a very good spot, because when the zombies are in the water, they slow down. Though there is no infinite damage wonder weapons on the normal version of the map, however, the Wunderwaffe is another wonder weapon on this map. However, we will talk about the Wunderwaffe in a little bit. Overall, though, the difficulty all the way up until round 40, in my opinion, is very good. And of course, we can't be outside the pros section without talking about the celebrity cast. The celebrity cast is great. The celebrity cast isn't my favorite crew by a long shot, but for what they are, they're pretty good and add a lot of personality to the map. Everyone has some pretty funny quotes. We have Robert Englund, Michael Rooker, Danny Trejo, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. 4 celebrities that have all starred in previous works before, headlining this map as our crew, which I feel like they do a pretty good job as. Running out the pros of this section are the Easter egg. Yes, Easter eggs. There's a co-op and solo version. We're only covering the solo version as I think the co-op version's stupid. It shouldn't be here. It just makes the map playing with friends a lot more confusing. And yes, I'm covering the Black Ops 3 version, which has 1 or 2 new steps, but I'll get to that when we get there. So let's hop right in to the first step, which is to retrieve a fuse. After knifing the door and talking to Richtofen, a fuse will spawn on 1 of 3 locations, which you pick up, put in the door by knifing, and then you knife the door again. At that point, Nikolai will turn on the MTD security systems, in which 4 generators around the map will light up. You need to shut these off with explosives, and Semtexes are the best for this. Might I add, after putting the fuse in the box for the door, the Scavenger becomes more likely to appear in the mystery box, which is great because the Scavenger is good for this step. After shutting off the 4 generators around the map, which are in pretty good locations, especially in the remaster since it's a lot easier to see, except the stupid one at a zombie barricade, you knife the door again, and then head to the room room where you turn on the power itself. Turn the captain's wheel to 5 o'clock and pull the leftmost lever 1 time, and then the rightmost lever 3 times, leaving the middle one alone. At this point, a submarine will emerge and shine a light into the lighthouse, also allowing the VR-11 to be more likely to appear in the box, as it's required for this step. Take notes, Ascension. After you get the VR-11 from the box, you gotta shoot a zombie who will then run into the lighthouse. At this point in Black Ops 3, there's a different step where you need to find 4 pieces of paper around the map and then switch the dials, which we're not going to cover here. There's also a radio step, which I'm not going to cover because they're not official steps. They're part of the co-op version in Black Ops 1. They're not part of the actual Easter eggs, so we're not going to cover them here, but I just thought I'd mention them for the remaster. Anyway, though, after you retrieve the VR-11, you will have to then shoot a zombie who will then run into the light in the lighthouse. You then need to kill the zombie as he's ascending the lighthouse staircase with a gun, and then after you kill him, he'll explode at the top and then come down as the Vril device, which was trapped inside of him. After you attain the Vril device, you go back to the bottom of the staircase, place it through the tube, knife the door again. The fuse inside the door will short out, you then knife it, and then Ultimus teleports to Shangri-La. And at that point, you are done the Easter egg. Now, in Black Ops 1, you just get the Wunderwaffe drop, and then Black Ops 3, the door will actually open, revealing where Ultimus was and the teleporter they teleported with, along with the Wunderwaffe drop. Yes, this map rewards you greatly for completing the Easter egg. In Black Ops 1, you get an achievement for completing it in solo, you get an achievement for co-op, and you get the Wunderwaffe, which transfers between games. The Wunderwaffe, as I stated earlier, is the only source of infinite damage on this map, which is the only legit way to get the high round. Though, it should be noted, as soon as you pick up the Wunderwaffe in Black Ops 1, you cannot switch it out. Though in Black Ops 3, this isn't a problem. To be honest, though, in Black Ops 3, I feel like the Wunderwaffe isn't as necessary because the Death Machine and Scavenger are both infinite damage, but it's still a really nice reward, and in Black Ops 3, it does not save between maps, so you're going to have to do the Easter egg again in Black Ops 3. Regardless of this Easter egg is fantastic, and I really do like it. I didn't like the dial step that much, but that's not an official step in the Black Ops 1 version, so honestly, the Easter egg's great, and even then, the dial step's not too bad either. Along with George. George is a new boss zombie introduced on this map who walks around and follows you the entire time. George has 250,000 health in solo and multiplies exponentially depending on the amount of players, capping at 1 million with 4. George takes a lot to kill, and using the Scavenger, like I said, is great for killing him, as when you do kill him, he actually drops Death Machine or the Wunderwaffe, depending if you completed the Easter egg or not, which is a super great incentive to kill him. Also, the VR-11, as I said, gets rid of George for 1 round, and then he comes back the next round. If you kill George through weaponry means, he'll come back 4 rounds later. George overall is great, but the only problem is he can block doorways, he follows you the entire map, and if you shoot him, he becomes enraged, and then he can also turn zombies electrified, which makes them do double the damage, which we'll get to in a little bit. Point is, though, George is a great addition, though he does have some problems, as I said, with the doorway blocking situation, but overall he's great. And I would also like to mention, I forgot to mention the sickle in my Ascension review. The sickle is a really cool piece of weaponry, though it is just a reskin Bowie knife at the end of the day, but for what it is, it's really good, and this is Ascension's introduction to the sickle, not Call of the Dead, but I figured I'd mention it here anyway to give some props to Ascension where it's due. Wow, dude, we were in the good section for a long ass time. However, we do have some legitimately bad things to talk about, starting with the fog. The fog is terrible, and it's just as bad in the remaster, it's just as bad in the original, and there's no way to turn it off other than doing a console command, which at that point is not playing the map legitly, and it's a problem if you have to turn off something through the console to make the map better. That's a problem. I hate the fog. It's a terrible design. It blinds your vision. It's not a good addition at all. I do not like the fog, along with the electric zombies. The electric zombies only appear when George tries to attack you and misses, and he hits a zombie by accident. He'll electrify them, causing them to do double damage. In Black Ops 1, this is bad enough where you have less health, but in Black Ops 3, it's ridiculous because the zombies hit a lot faster, so you can literally go down in 2 hits with Jug. It's terrible. These guys suck and make George a worse boss by proxy. I hate the electric zombies. Thankfully, they're not very common, though. Unfortunately, the water is common, which is another thing I would like to talk about. The water slows you down so much, and you stand in it for too long, you become frozen solid, in which you need to knife yourself to break free. And might I add, while you're frozen, the zombies can still attack you, which is just absolutely terrible. The only good thing about the water is it slows down the zombies, and it can calm George down. But the point of the water is to slow you down, which is just stupid in a map this freaking big. Another problem I have is with some of the layout. When you jump down from the ship where the power normally is, and you go down to the cargo hold, you can't turn back and get to the top of the ship. And the map layout does suffer a little bit because of that. It becomes clunky and janky trying to get back to where the power switch is and double tap. And finally, the roaming Pack-a-Punch. This is a stupid addition. Not only is the Pack-a-Punch back in the play space, but it roams around the map and it has like 20 different locations. It's stupid. There is no reason for this. The only saving grace is easy to tell where it is, but even then, it should just be in the same location the entire time. Regardless, that brings us to the end of Call of the Dead. Honestly, I think Call of the Dead is great. It's definitely my favorite in Black Ops 1 so far, but it does suffer from some serious issues, kind of like 5. But Call of the Dead and 5 are proven to be my 2 favorite maps so far in Black Ops 1. Of course, not without its faults, though it is a solid map for what it is. And I can understand why a lot of people like it.